Hey, good evening everyone. Welcome back to another track feedback live stream with me, Human Synthetics. Hope you're well. Hey everyone in the chat. Hey New Type. Hey Future World Machine, Sparky Optrix, DJ Fuzzy Logic, Derek. Distant Lands as well. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see so many of you on. CBPM, yo, how are you doing? They're starting a bit earlier this evening, just to get through a bit of a backlog of some submissions that I had before Christmas. Oh, Derek, yeah. Where are you in the States? You must be stateside or Canada, maybe? CBPM. It isn't always exclusively Patreon. It's just so happens that they got filled up before I could post it anywhere else. So, but if you are a patron on there already, I know people use different handles and stuff all over the place, but that's usually where I put things first, like that, just to give those on there that support me the benefit of getting early submission in. But West Coast, cool. CBPM, yeah, no, that's fine. I might just like mix and match it, like open it up to everyone occasionally, because I know that people really value these, and I wouldn't want to, I'd like to kind of give others a chance occasionally. I used to just do it all through Discord, and it was really hard to keep track of things, and I've just started like running a Google form, which is just much easier. I can export it all to Sheets. Who knew? I didn't. But yeah, we got about 15 tunes to get through this evening, hopefully. And if by any chance I've got room for any more at the end, then I might do one or two more. But any that I don't get round to, like, it's just standard that I just roll them over to next time. So cheers, Distant Lands. Yeah, no, I can see that. Thanks. I'll turn off our responses for now, but yeah, I hope everyone is good, and I think we'll just get to the music pretty quickly. Before I do, I will just give a shout out, as is customary, to my patrons and supporters. I've got a few new names just to thank on here. So, Danny Shimko, thanks very much for your support on Patreon. Andy, might be Niga or Niger, thanks very much for your support there. Q as well, and I think that's us up to date now. But yeah, thanks to all my supporters on Patreon, and you can see all their names there. Thanks to my longest standing patrons as well. There's some people who've supported me there for just a long time now. Really appreciate you all. If you're interested in all that stuff, links are in the description, Twitch banner and so forth. And for things like track feedback streams, I usually post the submission form first on Patreon. But yeah, we might mix and match that. There's lots of other stuff on there, presets and project files, track breakdowns, make your own ambient jungle live set, all that stuff. I think if you've been watching my stuff, you'll know kind of. You probably had a look at it already. Really appreciate you all. Thanks very much. Okay. But yeah, we'll just dive into it, I think. First tune up is I haven't got any visualizers or anything this evening. As nice as it is to mess around with those, they can sometimes be a bit distracting to me, trying to kind of offer good feedback to people. So I'll keep that running actually. So yeah, this first one up is by Williams Mix, and I do actually have some notes on this from Williams Mix. So I'll just read those, just to provide a little bit of context. So this was sent just before Christmas actually. I'll just see if there's anything that's not appropriate. Okay. I'm just trying to resize it so I can see. I can see what's in the Excel sheet. One second, I've just got to sort this out. I'll give the chance to provide some notes as well. And Williams Mix has provided pretty good. I think this is okay to read. I'm a 25-year-old music graduate and guitar player who's quite recently got into jungle drum and bass. Over the past 6 months or so, I gravitate towards the more atmospheric side of D&B like Bookham, Source Direct, DJ Pesce. But I also love the drum sounds of Paradox. I'm at the stage now where I'm taking a future release quite seriously. I think I still have a long way to go on the mixing front, but I'm trying to teach myself each day. Admirable. For this submission, I think I'm not entirely convinced of the first break. I've experimented with using liquid D&B breaks. Reference the first tune from Cosmic Twilight Volume 2 at Tipper of Friends. There's some kind of there's reference to a mix by the look of it. Some more stuff about drums. I think I struggle with creating movement between phrases, but I've tried to use white noise for transitions and a drum wash effect rack that I've made to filter out sounds, etc. I also struggle with getting a certain depth in my music. That's something a lot of people struggle with, and sometimes worry about the limits of my mixing capabilities because I don't have a dedicated studio space to work in. So I'm sure a lot of people relate to that. Just a laptop and headphones. Same here, man. Same here. I'm also unsure which sounds tracks should take priority. For example, in this song, if the sax should be louder than the breaks, etc. This is actually the first time I've sent anyone music I've made. So big up Williams Mix. Well done for getting out the door. That is the hardest bit. I think once you kind of do that, it becomes a bit easier. Once you've sent it to someone and had it heard, it gets a lot easier. It'd be very beneficial to have fresh ears, because I'm quite sick of this tune. Okay, well, let's give it a listen then. This is Space. I don't think Williams Mix is in the chat, unfortunately. Yeah, we're here all day for good looking vibes. Bit of chanting. Good comments, chat. Thank you. We'll get to them all. This is nice, this motif is kind of giving me Shogun vibes, Artemis. Future World Machines, I was just thinking exactly the same. Yeah, very good. Well done. Big up Williams Mix for sending it over and kind of putting your stuff out there. And it actually happens that I was just checking my messages and we were exchanging messages about this and if I was going to play this tune tonight because I didn't get to play it over Christmas or before Christmas. And Williams Mix actually sent me another tune and said, could you play this instead? But I hadn't seen the message. So, yeah, I think it's real. There's much to be applauded for getting something out the door and actually sending it to someone else, because it can be really, really daunting just having someone you've never met listen to your music. So I really applaud that. And I think this is a really strong, like, kind of first tune to send out or to send us or to get feedback on. I think it's a really strong idea, and I think there was a similar support in the chat as well. But I do have some points or some things, and I can definitely speak to what Williams Mix was concerned about as well. I wonder if Williams Mix is actually called William as well. But so I think, yeah, like that really convincing late 90s atmospheric, good-looking sound. And I really loved the intro and the percussion, the kind of the bongo, and the like chord stabs or whatever they are on the guitar, the licks to the guitar kind of chords were really nice. I thought the sax worked really well, and I thought all of the elements worked really well together. Actually, there was nothing that really jarred in that for me. It was really good composition of stuff. I do think, as can be the tendency, you want to cram too many ideas into one thing, and to me, as Future World Machines put in the chat, it sounds like 3 tracks in one. I think it can be fine to have like quite a hard transition to something different, but I don't think it's, for this type of music, I don't think you want that always necessarily. I think you could take the intro idea and the way it comes in with the drums and then the 808 and stuff, and you could just make more of that, like you could bring something like the kalimba in. That would be enough to kind of really switch the mood up and keep the vibe of the tune true, if you like. So yeah, so I think it definitely you could take like the Amen section sounded like a tune in its own right, really, or that you might want to drop into the Amen section rather than having the other breaks. And I know that there was a particular query about the as Williams Mix said, for this submission, I think I'm not entirely convinced of the first break, whereas I actually think that really worked for me. If it is, it looks like it might be a combination of breaks, in which case, if you're not, I wonder if you've experimented with just bringing in one first and then adding the other over the top to kind of bring add interest over time. I actually thought there was naturally one thing you find in like this. I actually thought all of the elements. I'm responding to William's mix comment about I struggle with creating movement between phrases. I actually think the choice of sounds and the parts that are being played on each individual instrument naturally do that. You know, if you haven't got a bass and then you've got a bass, it's giving you that sense of movement. If you've got kind of the sounds interacting in a different way and then suddenly one of them drops out, it will add a sense of movement. I think there were some nice little transitions in there. Like with this type of music, you don't want like an EDM white noise transition necessarily. You might just want like a splash cymbal, reverse splash or something, or like some that the sparkles were kind of giving it that feeling. So I think, yeah, it's what I would do with this one is probably try and just like, I would call this tune done, and next time just maybe, you know, if you feel like you've got too many ideas going on in one thing, that you probably got, it's that restraint you've got to exercise as a producer, and it takes years to get good at that, I find. I still do it all the time. I just put too much stuff in my tunes. I think mixing wise, the breaks could have been a lot. They could have been louder in the mix. And the kind of mid-rangey elements like the sax and the pads and stuff could have just been balanced a little bit lower in the mix in comparison to the break and the bass. I don't think you needed the sub in the amen section, or that amen section was cool, but I would like to just hear the 808. I don't want a switch of bass in a tune like this. Or that's certainly how I'd approach it. Bass Terex, thanks very much. Yeah, I saw that. I might not have a chance to get around to it, but I've got quite a few submissions lined up. But if I do, I've got it here, thank you. If not for next time as well, I'll just copy and paste it. Yeah, DJ Fuzzy Logic. You really have to be brutal, and like taking a break from a tune and coming back to it fresh ears and being like, that isn't working, and I'm gonna actually take it out, even though it took me ages to do, yada yada yada. Just get rid of it. You do not have space for extraneous elements in your art. I think it's all about clarity of idea, and if something isn't adding to the music, then it's not necessary. Sunk cost fallacy, exactly. That's so, yeah, you know, but it took me hours to do this break or something. But if it's not working, it's not working, and like it can be, yeah, you have to be brutal. As hard as it is, and it's like one of these artists, like whatever you're making it's like it's like a universal truth that every artist will continually experience is doing too much. I think whatever your medium is. But I thought that was a really great tune, William's mix. I think like really promising. Like it starts so well, and just like maybe just keep that 808 rolling. Don't worry about the amen. Like one of my favourite like tunes in that vein is Camouflage by Seba, which just like is so if you listen to that, it's so simple. There's so few elements. There's like layered breaks as the tune goes on, but when that bass comes in, it's just like dum dum. That's it. The whole tune is that bass phrase, and it's just so compelling. It's so simple. There's barely anything to it. You know, it's the clarity of ideas and like the just the musicianship or compositional ear, I guess. Cool. Okay, let's move on. Really great submission. Can't wait to hear more. Looking forward to more from William's mix. I hope I said some useful stuff there. I wouldn't worry about having a dedicated space. Most people don't. I certainly don't. I do everything on headphones, and I've had tracks released that have been created and mixed entirely on headphones without ever being in front of a pair of speakers. I find that just getting the chance to test it out every now and again, maybe in the car, or if you go to like a studio, like Pirate Studios. I don't know where you are in the world. Williams Mix, I think UK, but like Pirate are pretty good for like treated rooms where you can just have a session and listen on some loud, decent monitors, or if you get a chance to like hear it in a club setting, that's great as well. And all these little bits of feedback from different places can just help you kind of build a picture of how your music translates across different systems and stuff. But don't worry about having a dedicated space. I like not having a dedicated space because it keeps me, I can be mobile, I can make music anywhere, and that's really important to me. And I don't think the sax should be louder than the breaks. The top detail of the breaks should match with the sax to my ears in a tune like that. You want to hear the detail of the sax. You want to hear the breath. You want to hear the detail of the break. But you don't want one or the other louder. Okay, yeah. I hope there's some useful stuff in that, and like do feel free to comment or anything, or like drop me a line if something didn't make sense. Yeah, over listening will kill any tune really quickly, and certainly does me. Okay, have to bear with me, I've got quite a few screens open here. Nice one. I think like Williams, that tune is added into the track feedback playlist on my SoundCloud. I'll link below in the description to where you can go and check that out. So okay, we're on to Sunyata now. FKA Emil. And Emil normally brings the bangers, so I think I've just got to pull this in from somewhere else because I've got an updated version. Okay. Okay, new mix. So what was the previous tune? I don't know if anyone remembers Sunyata's tunes, but it's kind of like pretty futury bass and dubstep stuff. Big inspiration actually. AYE. We got that here. I'll just give a listen to the first one, yeah? Wagon, how we doing? I still need to listen to that tune you've sent me. I'm so sorry, mate. I keep trying to... I just need to find the right moment to enjoy it. Okay. Some good advice in the chat. CBPM, yeah. Thanks very much. I should check in on Discord more. All the links to my Discord are everywhere about. And I see it more as like a place people can hang out around the channel and stuff. Or I hope to get more time at some point in the future to do more stuff on there. But yeah, let's give a listen to this. I'm just going to play it. Wake Up. Wow. That was pretty good, wasn't it? That was Sunyata. Wait, I think, was that on Mara? Yeah. So I think I've played a Sunyata tune on every feedback stream, and I think they've always been really good. I don't know what to say, to be honest. Like, I don't. Sometimes Emil comes with like specific things that he wants. He was thinking about, but I know he's probably not about yet. And I know he's not in the chat. But yeah, I think they're always just really. They're all always really compelling, and the drops are really good. The switches are really good as well. I don't know what I could say to that really, other than just keep making more tunes, which I know he does anyway. So, yeah, big up. I love that one. That was really good. I thought, yeah, I couldn't fault the production really. I know you were saying about the snare DJ Fuzzy Logic, but I think it's like 10% stuff, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it would be, it would be fine putting out as it is. Great tune. They're always, I think it's just so not like how I would make a tune as well, which is why I kind of enjoy it so much, because it makes me think, oh, I would love to have a go at making something like this, because I don't often do, you know, I feel like I've got a kind of, you have things you lean to naturally, don't you, when you're creating and stuff, and it's great when you hear other people doing something so different. And just not like, you know, I love club music, I love electronic stuff, whatever it is, and I would like enjoy this in a club setting, but I don't know if I would make music differently to Sunyata, and so I find it really inspiring when I hear stuff that's just like, whoa, you know, play it again. Well, I tell you what, I've got so many to get through. If we get time for another one, yeah, I think that's pretty sick, wasn't it? Okay, I'm going to skip this next one because I know that the producer isn't on and they asked me to hold off. So, okay, we're going to Pound Shop Burial now by RJ McCready, who usually submits some heat as well every month. So I've got some notes on this one. Mainly arrangements, sound selection, vibes. So, okay, that's the kind of the potential issues. Any tunes that are public, I just add to the track feedback playlist, which is on my SoundCloud. This one isn't, so enjoy. have actually heard this tune outside of this, and it's changed quite a bit since last heard it. Wagon FM, I agree, yeah. He's spot on. Very nice. Yeah. Hey, Imprints. Oh, I just started a bit earlier this week to try and catch up on my backlog of tunes. Charlie, nice ambient vocals. Yeah, I agree. I've actually heard another iteration of this before, and RJ McCready has worked on it. Or Jimmy. We've spoken in the chat last feedback stream, but Jimmy has worked on it since. And I think like it's a unifying theme, isn't it? This like the simplicity, less is more, too many elements in one track. And I know that Jimmy said mainly arrangement, sound selection, vibes. I thought arrangement wise, like Wagon was saying, it sounds good. I think the variation comes a bit too soon though. There are a few too many ideas happening all at the same time. I think all the ideas are in there. They're just probably, they could be pulled out a little bit and perhaps strip it back a bit and simplify it to build a bit more groove. I think that's, given the like future garagey vibes, like LB is a producer that does that quite well, that just like that like real spaciousness in the beat and in the groove and stuff. And I think whenever you bring in like, it's got some like arpeggiated stuff or like some sequence synth lines, gated synth lines going on, and they really change the rhythm up and they really kind of mess with the swing a bit, or they don't mess, they interact with the swing. And sometimes it can be tempting to carry on elements like that, just keep them running. But I find like just going back to that drum and bass thing is so all that's needed. I sometimes think like the hardest thing about doing all this stuff is just not adding to, that's like the genius of producers really, is when they know enough is enough. It's not knowing what's missing, it's knowing what to take out. It's knowing when you've got too much. Yeah, but I really like the bubbling bass in this. Thought the bass was really compelling, and the chord progression. I generally really rate Jimmy's like choice of sounds and overall vibe and mood. This kind of like longing, dark thing, which is totally resonates with what I'm into as well. And I think a lot of producers who gravitate towards my stuff and towards what I do here is that we all share a bit of a similar sound. So yeah, but that really nice. And I think Pound Shop Burial, you're selling yourself down a bit there, Jimmy. I think I actually should have saved this to later because I know that he was going to be on a bit later, but I'm sure he won't mind, and we can chat about it then anyway. Yeah, there's some really great like hacker chill step channels on YouTube that have like future garagey stuff like this, and they're very very sparse in arrangement, really. There we go. Cool. That was Pound Shop Burial by RJ McCready, and Sparky Optrix next. Thanks for all the constructive feedback in the chat as well. Appreciate it. I'm sure everyone who's puts their music on here appreciates it as well. Well, like, over time, we've all got a bit more confident in kind of getting the feedback vibe on point. Okay, this is Control by Sparky Optrix. Sub FM. DJ Fuzzy Logic, do you mean my hacker chill step comment? Alright, let's go. This is Control by Sparky Optrix. I must remember to refer to if there's any notes on this one, because I think there are. So just bear with me a second. Alright, this is good. Right, fine. I just worked out how to wrap text on Google Sheets because that's what I was struggling with. Right, okay. Right, I don't use it very often. Okay, this is comments from Sparky Optrix for the tune. Whenever I try and make proper jungle, I somehow end up with something much more melodic and built around a chord progression than I intended. Me too. I get that all the time. Kind of, I want to make like something hard, and it ends up just sounding like, something I'd listen to, or something kind of atmospheric and chord progression driven. This track is an attempt to break out of that mold and not get too musical from the get-go. I think the breaks could do with more work, and the mixing mastering is all over the place, but I think it's going in the right direction. Let's give it a listen, yeah? Ackerman. Okay. I don't know, I think that was pretty good. There's some pretty strong ideas in there. And I think I definitely relate to what Sparky Optics is saying. Sparky Optics, are you about? That like, I often try to make something quite sparse and it ends up being built around a chord progression or something, much more like probably belying my songwriting background in bands and stuff like that, and I end up making it more like a song than a kind of a system tune. Yeah, good, cool. So I completely relate to that, and I think that's something I grapple with on stream a lot. Actually, I think that's probably something that we all share. That you've got. I think there's nothing wrong with doing it like playing to your strengths, and if that's just the way you write music, that's good, and it's good to know that. But then also, I think you can still play with that notion, and try and simplify things a bit. I would say maybe one strategy for that is like if you do finding things they are being built in this particular way, or they're coming together in this particular way, then maybe you could take out the thing that is doing the element that is making them that in a particular way, like the chords or something like this. That's often the way I do it. I might start with something quite emotive and quite chordal. There's lots of chords in it. There's maybe lots of melodies or melody lines or arpeggiated motifs and stuff. And I like, as the tune develops, I might strip all those out so it becomes a lot more basic. I think there's many ways that you end up building these things, and sometimes it's not always the most obvious. It's like when I know a lot of producers will start with the drums. They'll kind of build it up as if you were tracking stuff at a studio: drums, bass, guitars, vocals, like exactly how a mix engineer would do it. If they had a band. But for me, it's always like many different ways, and I find that keeps things fresh. So that might be a strategy that's useful, Sparky Optics, for like future, for more stuff that you're doing. Is like you there might not necessarily be anything wrong with starting a tune that way, but like if you do want to simplify it, you can. You could always like really pare it back. Or I thought I really liked all the call and response elements. One label that I really like for this type of thing is Kemet Records, and they release that kind of what we might all understand to be proper jungle. I like the bleeps as well. I reckon like if I was going to make this like more impactful, let's just give it a go. It's only short. This is nice. Same here. I do the same thing. Like I think about it like band arrangement. Like I think what could be nice in this actually, just to like pull this out a bit, was like that bleeps thing gives the great impression of like I would definitely want to start. If I was making this a tune that might be deemed, that we all understand. I understand what you're getting at, but like I would probably start with like a rhythmic element that wasn't melodic, just like with a break, with some sort of thing that a DJ could use. Not necessarily that a DJ, you're making this to be played by a DJ, but people kind of expect that a little bit if they're hearing something that might be what we all understand to be proper jungle or something. Like I don't know, like a break straight away. And I would definitely want to hear more of a breakdown before this drop. And these bleeps could be it. Like a bit of silence might be cool, and then the bleeps can completely go. The bleeps would be good for a drop and then take them out. And then, or like you've got all these other effects. that's the drop in it. That mashup thing would be great at the beginning. After the bleeps, definitely you could dig into the chops a bit more and switch things up with that. Like one trick that I often do is like, if I am going to start with a break or a rhythmic idea, I'll really fracture the break into just like into snares and kicks, or do something with like different warping modes or different processing on the breaks to give like a really skeletal flavor that kind of builds up before the main drop. HME, you just missed your tune. I just played it before and I realised that you probably wouldn't be on till a bit later, so I don't know if you want to catch up with that. Maybe you could, but I'll gladly talk to it still. The call and response bass was something I was quite pleased with. I think they're great. Yeah, no, I think I like the space. The space is excellent. It's like, feels like there's a like tension. I use that word all the time. I couldn't remember it, but there's a real tension in the sense that things are good. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Where's that bass coming back in again? Yeah, I would definitely check out Kemet Records. A lot of the releases on Kemet are just like that. Some of the producers on there do that stuff so well, and it's all jungle. It's all like proper jungle. But yeah, I really, really rate this label for stuff, and it's. I think a lot of they're a lot of vinyl. I don't know if anyone else knows. Kemet or anyone else appreciates Kemet Records. There's a great tune by Drama One called One Blood that I really like. I won't play it because it'll get copyrighted. They all do anyway, really, because a lot of you are using like samples from stuff. I thought that's considering what you're trying to do, Sparky Uptricks. It's as you said. I think I'm going in the right direction. I definitely think you are going in the right direction. I find like often when you're mixing stuff like this, like it can be really easy to make the breaks too loud, and then when you hear it, like if you ever hear it on a sound system, it's just like the breaks are kind of tearing your ears to pieces. Like getting the breaks balanced with the bass is really. Thanks, Future World Machines. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that. I think it was that. I think it was a mate, my who liked something on Instagram, and it was like, you might like this, and it was Kemet Records. Drama One Blood. That's like one. I remember hearing that. I was like, God, that sounds so loud and so like to the point. I know what you did that I really liked on this was like this little delay. Awesome. Where is it?
Welcome to the jungle.
Like the kind of crotchet or whatever it is, 1/2 by the sounds of it. Yeah, something like that. Well, that was brilliant. All right. Nice work, Sparky Optrix. Maybe hear it when you've explored it a bit more as well. Yeah, I do that. I love doing. It's kind of a dub thing, really, isn't it? Okay, this is Dramatic. Nothing But Love. Let's give a rewind that. Yeah, it's got those high contrast vibes. That was my intro to all of this, really, was like liquid, high contrast logistics, comics.
We're blazing the trail, and we've got love on our side. We're not looking back. We're careless, fearless, and free. We don't need anybody.
Are you dramatic? Charlie Clarkson-Berry. Cool. Very nice. Yeah, that was I lot of love for the kind of chord progression and stuff, but it's totally up my street too. I'm always kind of surprised that people like that all of us, that everyone who kind of interacts with what I do and does and submits music and stuff, we kind of all share. Everyone shares like a similar vibe musically, and these are chords, definitely chords that I probably have used a very similar progression in my writing, and just yeah, I love that kind of progression of going from like the minor, just dropping down kind of 2 tones. So like, you know, you go from A minor, G, F. I don't know if that's the key of this, but like and just so compelling, works so well, just sounds so emotional and heavy, and like a kind of a real sinking feeling, but like a real elation as well. So yeah, sorry, the chat just caught. Nice tip from New Type there. When I make Reese's with wavetables, you can make them sound a little more solid by removing the fundamental from the wavetable and then replacing it with a sine. It gets rid of the phase. That's cool. So I do actually have some specific comments on this one. I really struggle with balancing my mix down. I want it to be loud, but can often end up too punchy for my liking. So, Andalusian cadence, is that what it's called? I've never heard it called that, but yeah, it would be something like that. It would be something like that. So I would just, say the chord progression would just be like A minor, G major, F major, and then going F major. And then, so I imagine those chords as like if I was doing it in my A minor, it would be A minor, G, F, A minor, C, F, something like that, C major, F. But it's nice to hear vocals in something, and I applaud you, Charlie, for like recording and singing over the top of it. Like arrangement wise, I thought it was really good and everything worked together. I really like the kind of arpeggiated lines that were happening and like the effects that was hanging over. I think mixing is something that, is just something everyone struggles with, and it's a practice thing like anything else. And my mixes have improved over the years that I do myself, and I always wanted to learn how to do it. I always wanted to learn how to mix my own tunes because I was interested in it. It interested me. I found it as interesting as making music was the fact that I couldn't do it. So I was like, I really want to know how to do this stuff. I really want to understand more about audio and just like audio processing and recording and tracking, like recording instruments and what everything does. And I really want to practice it on my own music and stuff. So I really think it's a practice thing, and it takes a long time. Just like making music, it takes years to kind of get to hear the difference in what you do, how I mix things now and how I mixed things 5 years ago. And there definitely is an improvement. But sometimes I mess things up all the time, and I'm like, I have to. A good analogy is, if you're working on, say, a visual analogy, if you're working on Photoshop or Canva, you're doing some design or you're looking at the same thing for a long time, you just lose objectivity. And the same thing happens for when you're mixing or listening to something. Like, it's very easy to completely misinterpret what you're doing, and you really need to like step away from it and come back and hear the changes, you hear the mix down that you've done. Oh God, sorry, Charlie. Yeah, they're a sample. This was mentioned earlier on. I did see it. Where from? Wonder. A little taste thing. I always prefer a female vocal over liquid stuff. I think it just kind of works better. Splice. But mix wise, if I was mixing something like this, it would be around that Reese and that break. I would start there as the foundation. Do you know what I mean? Fotino, hey, how we doing? Less cheesy, yeah, potentially. like, I think like maybe it's definitely a taste thing, and like, and it's totally, if it sounds good to you and you like, and one thing that you could try if you wanted to hear what that might be like is definitely Ableton's the auto shift, and try messing around with the formant on that, and kind of the vocals sound a bit dry to me against everything else, you know. Do you know, it sounds like Lou Reed or something. Don't you reckon? It sounds like Lou Reed doing it.
We don't need anybody.
Or like if sometimes I vocode vocals as well, like put them through a vocoder. But that is just my opinion, and as is everything, all the feedback that I provide, I definitely don't have the answers. The answers are within you. But yeah, I think mix wise, build everything around the foundation of the break and the bass, and you know, sometimes with the whole Reese-y phasey thing, which is what Reese basses naturally do, you can definitely layer them with a sine. Yeah. Yeah, it was giving Lou Reed vibes, wasn't it? Fotino. I'm pretty stacked with submissions for this evening, but like if I get to the end and there is space, I usually kind of open feedback week or so before I do a trap feedback stream. The next one's scheduled for March. And if I do get time, I might actually do one in February as well. So, yeah, I definitely think. Sorry, I got kind of distracted thinking about the mixing thing and the vocal. Definitely some kind of other element to bring it up after that second drop. You know. Like if you had a vocal like and vocalists actually singing on this, I would want them to do something. I'd want them to really crescendo for the breakdown, you know. And then have some like held note, you know, that they were holding kind of some kind of sustained vocal, that this was going to carry us over into the drop. Not have the vocal here, you know, just have. I think one thing I rarely ever do, in fact I don't do, and I don't actually think it works musically, is if you are coming back to a drop, like particularly after a breakdown, don't introduce like a new element, don't introduce like a new thing, or introduce the vocal again in this type of music. Ned, how are we doing? That's all right. Fashionably late. Ned Rush is playing live in London this weekend. Am I right, Ned? For anyone in London, I potentially got the. Am I right there? It's at Melting Point, 4 Quarters in Peckham, from 7 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. Free entry. That's 4 Quarters Peckham, 7 o'clock to 2:30 a.m. 1st of Feb for Melting Point. How you feeling for that, Ned? Are you all prepped and stuff? Should be really good. Is it just you? Born ready. Free bar. If you're a patron, I imagine he'll get you a drink. So yeah, I think definitely that's like a little tip from me. That's a hot tip, is that for that second drop, introducing like a kind of a strong melodic new idea is rarely works. I'm trying to think of like counter examples to my thoughts here, and I definitely don't hold all the answers, you know. But unless it's carrying on, like weaving over from before, like just suddenly introducing a thing, unless it's like, I don't know. Music's such a changeable thing. What works once for one thing might never ever work again for another thing. All right, let's carry on. I thought that was really, really strong though, dramatic. Anonym next, and then it's New Type as well after that. Sorry, because I am getting like, chat is just always so deep, you know. There's so much to talk about with music, really, all the time. Okay, I've got a new link for this one. Nice one. This is Anonym Suited Up, so... Yo, Derek. Before I'm just gonna check in. Okay, there was some comments on this one. I've been making music for a few years now, specifically jungle for around a year. I think that the harmony and melody of this track needs improving, both in terms of sound selection and composition. Let's run it. Let's see. Yeah, that's one of mine. Repetitive's good sometimes. Yeah, lovely. That was really good. I really liked just a compelling chord progression, wasn't it? It felt quite like euphoric. And I think the chat really nailed it as well. I think what Wagon was saying, Wagon FM. Do you know what it's like? We did the Planetary Drift listen through, and there was one tune in particular. It was just there was a lot of good tunes on. There are a lot of good tunes on. They're all good, but there were a couple in particular that were just like rolling out, and we were talking about what it reminded us of. And I think it's nice to hear that with Amen tunes sometimes, to hear things that are euphoric and roll out with amens. They're almost a bit like hardcore. And the harmony, just speaking to your point specifically, I think the harmony and melody of this track needs improving. I think it's good. I don't think it does. I think maybe what's DJ Fuzzy Logic said about some kind of small break or just kind of complete down to zero might be nice to hear at some point. It sounds true. It sounds like you've done something artistically true. Yeah, I think you can hear that. I think you can hear that when someone just does like embraces what they want to make, and it sounds honest. A lot of the music this evening has sounded the same way, but yeah, I would say I had one idea. You know where the break comes in, and it's not too long as well. The tune, I don't think it is too repetitive. I think the DJ would be mixing it out by here. That's one thing I've learned actually, is that leave it to if you're making music that a DJ might play, don't worry about the ending and the beginning too much, because they just mix over it anyway. So, as long as you've got some good drops in there and some good bits, then they'll probably just it's up to them how they blend it. And I've definitely been the victim of trying to make the end do something clever when it never gets played, because a DJ just blends over the top of it. And that really is kind of how we want our music to be consumed, isn't it? A lot of us that we're making stuff here is to be in a club environment played by a DJ. Yeah, I feel like a massive imposter all the time, to be honest. I think that's natural. That's a bit like the adding too much stuff to your music. You never really feel like you belong. I think if you're worth your salt, you always think that you've got, out of your comfort zone a little bit. yeah, drums at the beginning and end, or some kind of rhythmic element at the beginning. And yeah, I was going to say specifically this break right at the beginning. I really like what you're doing, where it kind of like filters in from the top very, very nicely. I'd love to hear that come from nothing. So almost have like a band pass. So it sounds like you've got like a low pass filter on it that you are gradually opening up. It'd be nice to have the same happening in reverse from the higher frequencies down to kind of make the break sound like it was. You could hear it coming in slowly. But it almost like opens up both ways across I think that might be really clever, because immediately you know, it might be too clever, but immediately you know what's coming. But great tune, great work, Anonym. And yeah, what we got? Anonym Sound on SoundCloud. I will link to everyone's SoundCloud in the description after for the view on demand. All right, next up we got New Type. I think you're all going to like this one. This one is called Northern Lights. Yeah, the hardest thing is just to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah, this is Northern Lights by New Type. I'll just read a comment. Some words from New Type on this one. So this one is a step away from my normal style. I was trying to hit that summertime festival vibe. Early evening, sun going down, night coming in, things are starting to ramp up. If you get what I mean, I think we do. Not too sure why, but the part at the very end of the track was cut off when I bounced it. Okay. I think the chat will enjoy this one. I have heard this one. The very beginning was cut off. All right, got you. So I think we'll just read in New Type's comment in the chat there. definitely see this fulfilling the job that you've what you said inside. Love the siren. This riser. Yeah, new type is always bringing the fire up. Very, very nice. I was just picturing that, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, being at a festival, sun going down. I think the track fulfills the brief that you envisaged or that you came up with before making it to a T. I think you would just be listening to this rolling out and like stuff, and then some MC would be shouting it up before you know, like some MC, you know, like. And this will come in unexpectedly. I can see it like devastating, to be honest. I love all the little ear candy bits that you do, like with like the like the neuro stuff that's very toppy. Yeah, like with the subby thing rolling along. Yeah, I think what Food for the Gods said about, I think you're just about done, new type. Yeah, I couldn't fault this, and the mix sounds incredible, really. Yeah, sick tune. I think, like, compared to like some of the other stuff that we've heard from new type, I think it is new type. It's new type's voice bringing a different flavour, you know. There was one I played, like Flow With It. That's my favourite tune of new types that I know. And we should get that on, hearing that again at some point. Big things for new type this year, I think. So is this the one? This isn't the one that you want a vocalist on. It was Crepuscular Rays. Yeah, man, that would be good. I'd like to hear that tune again. All right, yeah, that was banger. It's totally giving like like DJ Marky 2008 vibes. Yo, Natural Selector. Okay, I've got another 5 tunes to get through, but I'll just play the Natural Selector one as you're on. This was one that actually came before Christmas. Are there any comments on this one? Yeah, new type. Honestly, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting to hear such good music from everyone. And big up yourselves. Well done, everyone. It's not easy to. It's really hard to like get past yourself in making this stuff. I was saying to my girlfriend the other day that just like, you know, the only person that ever stands in my way that's ever stopped me doing anything, it isn't my life circumstances or anything like that, or it's always just been me. It's always myself, you know. And if you can get out of your own way when you're doing this stuff, and you can be open to all the new experiences of making music and having other people listen to it and stuff, then you will make progress and you will become a better artist. But you really just have to get out of your own way, and that is hard to do. Yeah, no, she's cool. Very encouraging, I'd say, actually. The opposite. It's so true, though. I don't know if to do. I'm sure everyone here relates to that a bit. You know, it's all like the imposter syndrome, all that stuff, all that nonsense that we kind of talk ourselves into, really. So appreciate you all for sharing stuff. So this next one from Natural Selector, I've got some comments as well from the producer. This one is actually fully finished and has been mastered by Sunyata, aka Emil, or FKA Emil. We had some more heat from earlier on. I'm super happy with it. We'd be keen to hear your feedback and see what people in the stream think. Would be keen to hear if people have any ideas of labels to send to. This is an area of my expertise that I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at. Okay, Natural Selector. I guess listening to other people's music makes me philosophical. Listening to music generally makes me philosophical. Yeah, the inner bully. Human Synthetics life coach. Music production life coach. Natural Selector wanted to make something a lot harder. I've been listening to a lot of hard bounce and 4x4. So I wanted to make a hefty rave slammer. Pretty happy with how it turned out. And have crowd tested it. Played it a few raves and it's popped off. That's good. It sounded really great when I was listening to it earlier. Oh, this is Motive by Natural Selector. Do you know, I don't mind a bit of psytrance. Psytrance kicks always sound incredible. Yes, very nice. That was Motive by Natural Selector. Yeah, I think I've heard that one, but in a previous version. Natural Selector, when we've had production sessions together and stuff, and I think that sounds like legit. I don't know what like good feedback I could offer other than the usual one, which is like just make more, because that's it sounds very you as well. It sounds like, I feel like you've kind of got your voice as a producer already, which is pretty impressive, because it took me years, I feel, but like mix wise or like production wise, the foundation is that amazing, like the bass and the kick. I really like the ear candy and the sound effects and stuff you got going on throughout, and I can totally see it devastating a dance floor as well. I mean, that's a good. This is one thing I learned actually from having, sometimes I have a tendency to be a bit of a music production loner. I know I make music on stream and stuff, and like everyone, and we all kind of chip in occasionally to what I'm doing. But like, I tend to like the insular world of it, so I'm controlling every element. But it can be so rewarding and inspiring to just like have a session with other producers and just see how they do it. For instance, woke up one morning and was like, what would it sound like 4x4 and at 160? That might not be something I'd ever consider doing. And it was something that like Natural Selector and Sunyata were like, you know, just switching up tempos and change, or like working at tempos that I probably wouldn't usually work at. So yeah, I find that really that kind of stuff really inspiring. And I think it sounds like a sick tune, man. I think just keep writing. Mix sounds, master sounds tough as well. You should be really pleased. I could totally see this popping off. Yeah, man, killer. I don't know if I know, like, it was Natural Selector who introduced me to high tech as well. Don't know if anyone's... And Gauge System. Did you... Our Natural Selector, Gauge System was in the chat on stream the other night. Yeah, we were exchanging messages on Insta. I was saying how you'd introduced me to the remix of the T.O. Tech tune. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, I heard that tune and I was like speechless. High Tech. I played it to some people at work and they've just asked me to turn it off. I actually think it's quite inventive. I don't know. I haven't heard much hard bounce. I know. I like 4x4. I occasionally veer into that myself, doing like hyper pop stuff. Sick tune. Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks for the submission. Looking forward to hearing more. I can't say I know free tech either, but that sounds good. Keep bringing the new genres. I need to keep abreast of these things. Okay, so I think we've got 5 more to do, and I'm gonna push through these. I've got this here. Okay, next up is Drone Eater, and there's some insightful comments on this one. Drone Eater is Chris from Aotearoa in New Zealand. Has been playing music for years, but only a few months at making electronic music. I make music that features our indigenous language, Te Reo Maori. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This track, I'm hoping for it to keep fairly low intensity, quite chill, but with a certain drive. It describes a relationship between one man and two women, specifically the sun and the summer and winter maidens. It's an old Maori story. My song talks of how the women miss him when he's with the other one, implying a question of, is it fair? Some specific help I'd appreciate is on the build-ups and helping the vocals pop more. I currently basically employ autofilter and white noise riser to structure drop. This strategy is lacking, I think. Like I said, I'm not looking for a massive club build-up, but I'd like to build tension enough to feel the release when it climaxes. That's sick, isn't it? That's cool. So, regarding the vocals, hang on. Got some more. Regarding the Vox, I have tried to sidechain all instruments to the vocals to make room for them, but unsure if this is the right approach. Otherwise, whatever feedback is welcome. This edit has 1 minute where I intend to throw some samples of someone telling the story of the son and his wives. It's pretty empty at the moment without the samples. Nigamihi, thank you. Oh wow, this is so cool. It's amazing to think people are kind of watching in New Zealand. I think this is Rua Tekau Marima. I hope my pronunciation's decent. And this is Drone Eater. Let's give it a listen, yeah? Could be a nice vibe switch up for now. Take it. Be like tomorrow. it's nice to hear kind of giving me like, you know, acid, ambient, like techno kind of breakbeaty vibes. I tell you what it is making me think of actually is Deep Forest, the producer Deep Forest. And there's a tune that I've got on like my kids' playlist that we listen to in the car all the time, which is Lullaby, I think it's called, by Deep Forest. And I know it was like a bit of a hit in like the late 90s. It's slower and it's more like kind of that like ethno electronic stuff, a bit like what's the producer that did like Enigma. It's giving me kind of like sped up Enigma vibes. Yeah, I think the vocal, like conceptually, I think it all that's really cool, having like a vocal that like to an English, you know, to the English language, it's kind of mysterious and evocative, and longing. It's quite melancholic as well, you know, and the vocal's really good. And Droney hasn't really even, or Chris hasn't really even said where the vocals come from, but I really like the vocal, and I can see why, you know, wanting to make more of a thing with the vocal, because they are the kind of main feature in this. I think what Future World Machine said about this, it has all the elements to be huge, loads of potential, just needs a bit of tidying up. I think like transitionally with something like this, like, which was really like the crux of what Chris was struggling with, was like, I wouldn't even think about making big transitions. It's got the way the track evolves anyway. It sounds like it's got all those elements. They just it could do with like a mix. A good mix down, and some of just like removing parts before new sections, you know, and having the odd drum fill. I think that's all you'd need with, like, rather than going for like a riser or anything like this, or even just a cymbal, you know, because I really like, it's got this like really hypnotic rolling quality, you know, and I love the flutes and stuff that are going on in the background as well. It's like really interesting composition. I like the simple bass as well. So I think just like bringing those elements in and out as the arrangement unfolds would be powerful enough in terms of delivering on a sense of, you know, delivering a climax, a tension, and a release. And one of the most powerful things you can do, and I don't know if Droney did it, if Chris did it at all in the arrangement, just like take the bass out, take the break out, take the kick out, and then bring it back in after a break, after like a small pause, and that's all you need for this. Yeah, a bit like being a bit more distinct in the structural parts of the tune, like where the break comes in and stuff like that. I like the vocode a bit, but potentially you could try it on lower chords. It sounded a bit too, maybe it could be fuller and more like chunky like that, rather than a bit higher up. Just looking at the DJ Fuzzy Logic, I think you are next. So, just looking at the comment on Twitch, can I send my song? I'm kind of maxed out this evening, but if you keep an eye on YouTube, on my YouTube, particularly my community posts, which is normally where I update people on track feedback streams, then there'll be another one in March, if not sooner. Submissions and stuff. So, but Drone Eater, a really cool original idea, or like just a really cool vibe to this one, and I think you're delivering the story as well that you're talking about. Sounds very longing and melancholic. I would say mixing the vocals, don't worry about trying to do like that sidechain approach. I would just if you could, you know, to carve out space for the vocals, you just need less things going on that conflict with the vocals. And I think there's enough to hear from what she's singing about anyway. You know, you latch onto the your ear is, able to discern those kind of the human voice. So I could say that you could build up the track quite a lot and still have the vocal, and you're going to hear it. Compression is going to help with that, because it's going to kind of reduce the dynamic range and bring up the quieter elements of the vocal, the quieter parts of it, to be more uniform as one thing, so it will sound closer. It can be a hard thing to get right, but there's loads of good resources about compressing vocals and stuff. But yeah, that was really good. I'd love to hear like an acid line in that. That'd be cool. And just like have fun performing like jamming an arrangement out, or jamming versions of that out, because it's got that jammy. It's got like the feeling of stuff played on like hardware with some human element over it. Kind of Deep Forest vibes. Sure. Thanks for all the comments on Twitch as well. Kind of stacked with submissions, but keep an eye on YouTube for the next one. Okay. DJ Fuzzy Logic. This is Hype the Funk, and is this the right one? Hype the Funk demo. Okay. Play profile tracks. I've got it. This one. This is the boy. I've got it. This is the one in it. Demo. Yeah. A speed garage track with a catchy hook. Yeah. Based partly on your feedback from my last submission. Curious for feedback on the mix, arrangement, melody, and harmony. Not sure if the background chord progression works in some of the drops. Let's check it out, yeah?
Hype the funk, do my own thing, break the phone, on and on, game tight, on the microphone.
Yeah, nice one, DJ Fuzzy Logic. I wonder, like, is it cutting out for others as well? Are you hearing that kind of like glitching out?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, now.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, sorry if it was like cutting out at points. I couldn't be. It was dropping, wasn't it? Yeah, that was frustrating. In a very frustrating way. That was almost like, is it the song? Is it me? Is everyone experiencing that? And then it would start again, and you're like, oh, there's nothing more frustrating actually when stuff like that happens. So I think, yeah, that drop and the bass line, dong 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 dong, very compelling, very very nice. I really like the kind of the vocal chops on it as well. Was it coming through a bit loud? It's possible that it might have been because I had to turn up the last tune a little bit. I think, but that sounded good for me here, like mix wise. So yeah, mix wise, I wouldn't mind hearing, you know, the FMs, the donkey stabs you've got.
Game type. On the microphone. Do my own thing. Do my own thing. Do my own thing. On the microphone.
They maybe have a little too rolled off the top. I wouldn't mind hearing a bit more top to those. Don't. So they're a bit more donkey and like cutting. I feel like the sub is maybe the kick could maybe have a bit more attack, or like, you know, to it to kind of cut through with the sub that's rolling along with it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, now.
Yeah, cutting out frustratingly. I wonder if that is the tune potentially. I'm not sure. Sometimes when you're bouncing out stuff, things like that can happen. Yeah, the bass line's really good, and I feel like in everything that I hear from you, DJ Fuzzy Logic, is like there are these like really like strong bass line grooves and stuff. Too masked by the bass. I think the stabs are pretty fine. I feel like they sit apart from the bass and the kick. I feel like the bass and all the elements kind of sit nicely together. Actually, they could just. I would potentially be tempted to balance them a little bit more and maybe add some top to that kick so it cut through a bit more and wasn't so like rolled off on the top. Great tip. If you're in Ableton, you could add some FM via sampler on a short envelope to give the kick a bit of click. Yeah, a bit of click would be nice on that kick, because it's got really when you've got like these really weighty subby bass lines, you want kind of like a tough kick that's not too subby. But I thought the chords worked really well. Nothing was jumping out at me. I would be tempted whenever you got like vocal chops and chops going in on and stuff like this. You know, you want them so on the beat, I think, or so like right rhythm. And I can often spend a bit of time, particularly in music that's got swing, like garage. I often just turn the quantization off and will move things around manually and listen to them by ear. Particularly where it's like doing that 1, 2, 3, 4. It sounds like the warping's messing with the vocal a little bit too much to kind of maintain that rhythm, and it's a bit loud in the mix. That. Yeah, that vocal there, it just jumps out a bit too much, and it sounds like it's been warped beats mode, like, and pulled out a little bit. So I wouldn't mind, yeah, just hearing that a bit more straight, I suppose. And I feel like DJ Fuzzy Logic, like we spoke about, like just too many elements in stuff, and I feel like that's been taken on board. It feels a bit more stripped back than normal. Feels like you've exercised a bit of restraint in a nice way. So that'd be cool. I imagine you could probably find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from somewhere else as well. Is it too repetitive? No. No, I thought the drops were going on well enough, and that breakdown in the middle was nice. I like the little acid stab, the distorted acid thing you added at the end. I don't. And it does the it's the bass line, so the stab switch up slightly. I feel like you want, like, repetitive is a good thing in some, like for some tunes, particularly for something like this, where if you are going to switch things up, you're going to want to do it maybe once by adding another bass note, something like that. Yo, Golab, how we doing? No, definitely not. Definitely not too repetitive. And I just, in a tune like this, you want mix wise, you want the drums, you want the bass, and you want that, and that is the thing that is the focus of stuff. And you might want these bits of ear candy to kind of, you're going to want to hear them and everything else, but like, get the foundation working. And everything else should be balanced around that, really. So when I'm mixing anything, a zero stuff, and I'll just balance the drums and the bass, the foundational elements of the song, and then gradually bring in stuff, usually by like kind of the space it's occupying, so like pads and stuff, and then the higher frequency elements that are more transitory and happen less, because they're probably going to be heard, even if you have them quiet in the mix. I reckon the Vox were too loud at points, yeah. One thing I like to do with any kind of vocal chops in stuff like in dance music or in club tunes is I filter them quite heavily, because you just want to almost hear, it's a bit like when you listen to someone on your on speakerphone, on a mobile phone, you hear just the like you don't hear the bass of their voice. You just hear almost like the it's like Ableton's telephone vocal on the EQ. You just hear like the character of the voice rather than the full spectrum. But that's enough for you to discern what it's saying. So I'm a big fan of like kind of EQing things quite heavily, particularly if they're vocal chops. If it's a full vocal, I won't do that. But I think that's pretty banging. I think that's the most no nonsense piece you've played, DJ Fuzzy Logic. Now, so I managed to get through about 12 tunes then, maybe more. How many did I get through this evening? And I think I do have a couple more from Lego Island DJ and Distant Lands, but I'm going to finish here now because my voice is going a bit, and I feel like we've come to a natural pause. Pleasure, DJ Fuzzy Logic. So some really good finished tunes, some really good works in progress and stuff. Yeah, thanks chat for being so supportive with everyone's music and providing constructive feedback. It's really appreciated for keeping positive vibes and stuff. Yeah, cheers Ned. Anyone in London, go and check out Ned Rush in Peckham at the At melting point, melting. Melting point, 1st of Feb, 4 quarters, Peckham, 7 o'clock till 2:30. I'm just going to play us out with something actually, which is from someone who submitted tunes a lot before, and that is Caligari. Got an EP out, and I said I'd play something from it, and I'll play something to Thanks everyone that submitted music this evening. Next track feedback stream will be in March, scheduled at the moment, but probably but I might try and do one in Feb. Yeah, some big tunes, people. I'm just gonna play us out with a tune from Caligari, and I'll wish you all a good evening. Hope you get some time for some music. I won't be on stream next week. Back on the week after. Oh, Ned Rush, you should do. I'd send something for it. If you want to come back on here as well, it'd be great to do that again. Maybe in March. Fancy coming on for that one. Yeah, cheers. All right, well, I'll say, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to my patrons again. Thanks everyone that supports me on there. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters. All right, and I think I'm just going to play us out with Craven Dub. This is from Caligari, and this is from his new Craven EP, which is available on Bandcamp, Spotify. Caligari submitted music loads in the past. Some really great stuff on feedback streams. It's actually Caligari's night that Ned's playing out on Saturday, so I think we'll play out with Craven Dub. Alright, chat, I'll see you in a bit. Thanks everyone, thanks so much, have a great evening. Grace, how we doing? Big up. That's his Craven Dub from Caligari's Craven EP, available on all DSPs, Bandcamp. Check out his SoundCloud. Oh, it's like glitching out again. I'm going to play it on Bandcamp instead. That's annoying, isn't it? Okay. I'll try again. Laters everyone.
Is it possible to see?